Good evening, welcome to another episode of What's Dair Cooking. Tonight we're going to be doing chicken, extra lean ground chicken. Super healthy, but one of the problems with ground chicken is, well, there's not a lot of flavor because there's not a lot of fat in it. And as everyone knows, fat equals flavor. So what I like to do is build up, typically I'll stir fry it in this case, or do my version of a stir fry. I will stir fry the meat component, but I don't really like stir frying veggies. They taste great, but it's not quite as healthy as steaming them. I'm a big proponent. You'll constantly see me steaming things on this show. It just tastes good. It keeps and preserves the nutrients. They're nice and crispy. And then the sauce I'm going to build up anyways is going to give it a little saucy factor. So there's going to be some taste there. You know, salt, pepper, don't worry. It's going to be good. You're going to love it. So what I'm going to do with the extra lean ground chicken is I'm going to make a sauce base. I'm going to start off by browning the meat, and I'm going to put it aside. And what I'm going to do is create a base. So what I'm going to do is create a sauce base, if you will, to put the meat in, and then cover my rice. Oh, side note, in addition to the vegetables, I'm also making I've got my handy dandy rice cooker here, just the idiot's way of doing it. I can make rice by hand in a pan or a pot. It's pretty easy, but this is the simplest way of doing it. You clean the rice. Basically, you wash it 3 times. What you'll do is get off all the extra starch and schmutz, if I can use the word. So what we do is we wash the rice 3 times and then put it on. Now what I like to do, and one of the things you're going to learn here at What's Dair Cooking, is I like veggies. I love fruit, but when it comes to cooking, I like to what I call vegify everything. I add vegetables as often as possible to every single dish that I can find. In this case, in addition to the steamed rice that I'm going to be making, I also like to add sometimes, do the old peas and rice, or rice and peas, depending on where you're from. So I've got some peas I'm going to be adding to my rice, and some corn, just because the yellow color just gives it a vibrant look to it. Okay, we are back. I've got my chicken, which I have now browned. It doesn't smell like anything. It's kind of boring. I added a teeny little bit of salt to it, maybe bring out a little bit of the flavor. But as I said, what I want to do is create a sauce, sort of, base, whatever, something. Anyways, using whatever I had around the house, just because that's the way I like to do things. I hate wasting, and I always create something where I can just put stuff together, and it's fun, and it works out great. And as I say time and time again here at What's Dair Cooking, is if I fail miserably, pizza can always be there in a half an hour. So 30 minutes later, we'd be eating, even if I screw up. So let's give this a shot. What we're going to do is get our pan going so that it's nice and warm. We're going to put a little bit of olive oil in it. And what we're going to do is just start off with we got some green onion. I don't know if you can see that properly. We've got some green onion that we're going to start off. Actually, I apologize. Wrong order of things. What I'm going to do is start off with trying to get some of the sauce going with the soybean paste and the red pepper paste. So I'm going to add a little bit of my chicken stock just to give it some liquid so I can mash it out and make it all smooth. I'll add a little bit more and slowly build on it. And basically, I'm going to let it simmer. It's going to evaporate. I'm going to add a little bit more. And then eventually, once it's nice and condensed, then I'm going to add the green onion, followed by the chopped garlic. And I've got my dill, some salt, some pepper. Get it all going, nice and bubbly, nice and tasty. Then I'll add the chicken back into it, let that cook for a little bit, and add it to the steamed vegetables that I'm going to get going, and the rice that's already done. So, let's get this thing started. We need a spoon. And this spatula. This is the greatest spatula ever. It scoops out everything. It gets everything. It's quite amazing, actually. So, as I said, we're just gonna got our pan nice and hot. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of the soybean paste. You can hear that sizzle. And we're going to add quarter tablespoon of the red pepper paste. All right, now that that's going to start going, need a little bit of liquid. Oh yeah, you can hear that. All right, so I'm just going to stir that up so that the solid pepper paste and the soy paste obviously mush out, if you will. I'm sure that's the really technical term, mush out. And once that's going, we'll add, as I said, our green onion. But I'm going to spend a few minutes here stirring this around, letting the chicken broth burn off so that the sauce condenses and becomes, well, I'm looking for something really rich to combat the, well, quite frankly, blandness of the chicken. So we'll get this going and I'll come back in a bit. Okay, in a classic Dair maneuver, I have rethought my position. I have made my sauce base, but what I did is I poured it all out, and I'm going to start the onions and the garlic by themselves, because otherwise this way they kind of get soggy, and that just didn't make sense to me. We don't want soggy onion. So I've got the oil back in the pan. Things are looking, well, like they're ready to be fried. We'll get our green onion going. Oh yeah. Because I've been using the same pan to cook the chicken and then my sauce. It's gotten nice and crispy. So it's going to have some nice little crunch elements. All the little bits of goodness that are at the bottom of the pan that the onions are just going to soak up and get crunchy and cooked and not soggy and wet. So we'll get this going. We'll put our onion in. We're going to add our dill as promised, just because we got it lying around. And hey, who doesn't like the taste of dill? At least I do. Then once that's all nice and good, we're going to put the sauce back in, flush it out a little bit more with a little bit more liquid. And at the last second, going to add a little bit more of the half and half cream that I have lying around. You know, make it a little bit creamy. And also just give it a little bit more sauce. And then finally, once it's good and ready, going to add our chicken. And by then I will have the veggies that I have cut up. And you'll note I'm using a steamer. It's a 2-part process. You've got the base where you put your water in. And then I've taken the top, which has obviously a half open bottom. Very, very professionally said. You're going to learn all these words. Whereby the steam will come up. And I use simple veggies, whatever's around the house. Today it's going to be broccoli, carrots, snow peas, mushrooms, and a little bit of arugula, sort of spinach, kind of a combination. Really, I just like to throw in as much, as I say again and again, I like to vegify things. So I will be using as many vegetables as possible. I fill it up to the brim, and I eat as many of them as I can. So Mom, you'll be proud. Anyways, we'll get back to you in a minute once this is going, and we'll see how this whole thing comes together. Okay, so our sauce was done. We added the chicken back to the sauce, so now that's simmering. It's getting percolating. There's a nice, well, the sauce will obviously bring some flavor to the chicken. Just waiting for my water to boil so that I can put my handy dandy steamer. If you'll note that I fill it to the brim. I do all the heavy vegetables on the bottom, the broccoli, and then I work my way up to the lighter vegetables. And then at the very end, I put as much lettuce, in this case arugula, spinach mix, as possible. Because really, once again, you can never have too many veggies. So that's going to probably take about a minute to a minute and a half. I've got the sauce simmering nicely. I've got my rice ready. It's almost dinner time and ready to come together. So, looking forward to trying this. Well, let's give ourselves a little bit taste right now. Alright. See how this thing has turned out. It looks good. We did good. It's got the kick of the Korean paste, which is a hot, spicy paste. You've got the miso there. And you can even, on the back end, taste that little hint of dill. Well done, people. So, I'm going to get the vegetables steamed up, put the plate together, show you what it looks like, obviously. And then it's dinner time for Dair. And there we have it, our finished product. You can see the steamed rice looks really beautiful with the color of the green of the peas, the yellow of the corn. The steamed vegetables are done, quite frankly. You can hear that crunch to a nice al dente, which is exactly what you're looking for. You don't want your vegetables to be mushy. And then finally, of course, we have our tasted up or repurposed ground chicken, which we've now added tons of flavor to. So, for everyone out in TV land, thank you for watching once again. What's Dair Cooking? I'm looking forward to eating now, so not much to say other than time to eat. You take care.